kick off our weekly picks. Let's hear it, Cass. What were we looking like last week? I know I didn't do too great.
Nah, last week out of 5, Chris got all 5 picks right. Chris picked Buffalo over Tampa Bay, Jacksonville over Pittsburgh, Cincinnati over San Francisco, Seattle over Cleveland, and Dallas over the Rams. So good job, Chris. Took the lead with that one. Shaw only got 3 right because he picked Pittsburgh and he picked he picked San Fran. And I got 4 out of the 5 because I also picked Pittsburgh. So
yep.
We got some like total for the season. I got 24. Chris is up at 25 and Shaw at 21. So he's lacking far
21.
behind 21. So we got some.
It's okay.
But it's some big games, and it's some big games this week that can go either way. So I'm very interested to see what picks you got for these 5.
I am too. And as always, we can start with the first game of the week. Will Levis in his second start in the NFL, going against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who possibly will be missing Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Got a hobbled. He's playing, but a hobbled.
Kenny Pickett. You know, and another game with Deontay Johnson back. Who you guys got this week? Amazon Prime, Thursday Night Football.
Everything in me wanted to pick Tennessee with this one, but I'm gonna go Pittsburgh at home. But I would not be surprised. This is a tough one to pick, honestly. You just never know with Pittsburgh. They're so hot and cold. You never know with that offense. But Tennessee looked good last week. But I did see some still concerning things with their defense late in that game. That was like, okay, maybe they're not that good, but this Pittsburgh offense isn't that good either. So I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going Pittsburgh.
Okay, speak up, Chris.
I'm going with Tennessee, man. Like I said, I've been saying all season, I don't like Pittsburgh offense. That defense is going to kill Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get after him.
He ain't gonna have no time. You seen it, Cass. Hey, that defensive line. I understand what you're saying about some suspect stuff that was going on in defense at the second half, but that D line is nasty. Jeffrey Simmons, let him get started. I think Tennessee it's gonna be a close game though. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout or no such, but I think Tennessee gonna pull it out.
I also think that the Pittsburgh Steelers will get the dub this week. The 4 touchdowns from Will Levis this past week kind of masked how the rest of his game went. Pretty much he wasn't very good under pressure. Really wasn't that great in intermediate, but obviously we saw the deep ball, which a lot of it was, he had a couple of beautiful throws, but, a couple of those deep balls, one was the OPI, one was just a complete coverage bust. I think Pittsburgh gets after him this week, and they end up pulling it out in a close game, probably like a 17-14, because it seems like neither team could really score. But we'll see about that. But the second game, and arguably the biggest game in the AFC for sure. Honestly, I don't even know because it's got the Sunday night game too.
I think that Sunday night one bigger than this one. But
Germany, and no, Miami is already in Germany. I haven't seen of Kansas City. I didn't see anything that indicated that Kansas City has gone yet.
They'll be out tomorrow. They're leaving tomorrow.
That's what Thursday. I thought. Okay, so Miami versus Kansas City, one of the biggest games of the season. Who you guys got? Speak up.
Who you got, Chris?
Ooh, this was tough.
This one tough.
I got Miami. Oh God, I got Miami.
Okay.
This is gonna be one of them games where Kansas City gonna wish they were home. I think that they home field is something to behold, to be honest. And I think because isn't this a home game for them? I think this is supposed to be one of their home games. So
it's one of their home games.
If they were actually at home, I would probably be like, nah. But I think especially hearing that Miami's already down there, I think they're gonna jump. I think they're gonna jump out on them early. Kansas City gonna obviously come back or whatever, but I think that early jump out on them is gonna do them in.
Okay. What's up, Cass?
I got Miami too, man. I got Miami. I look, this Kansas City team. It's some holes, and I think that also I think it's more than that. I think it's Miami. Like I think they have to win this game. They don't win this game, they're a joke. Nobody's going to take them serious for the rest of the season. Really, you can't lose 3 games against your comp, and beat up on inferior opponents. Like
That's true.
that's fine. You have a good record. You made the playoffs, yes, but like, come on, how good are you?
Can't
really?
be taken seriously.
You can't be taken serious. So I think Miami knows that for sure. They know that, and I think they do something about it this week and get a big win over KC.
Damn, my lone wolfing this week.
Oh, you got
absolutely fucking not. Miami. Miami. We got the clean sweep. Miami. I'm very nervous about, as much as the Kansas City Chiefs blitz. I'm kind of nervous about that and them getting pressure on Tua. But I am also trusting that Tyreek Hill has a monster game against Kansas City. I do think that ultimately, because they play so much man, it's going to come back to bite them. And if they go into the zone, Tua's going to eat it up. And I got the Miami Dolphins winning convincingly this week. And this is going to be something I do want to make sure that we revisit if they do win. That's conversation again about
first topic.
Obviously, it's first topic, but I do want to revisit the conversation about going out there earlier, because now we'll have another week of data, and then we'll have another week next week with the Colts and Patriots. Yep. I know the Colts are one of the teams that are going out on Thursday already, so I'm surprised that we all went with Miami, but the 4:00 game. Big game in the NFC, biggest game in the NFC, rivalry, Cowboys versus Eagles, Jalen Hurts versus Dak Prescott. Dak said, if you pour the honey on me, I don't know what he said. That sounded crazy though. But
that did sound crazy.
That sounded crazy though. But Dallas versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do y'all got? Speak up, Chris.
Man, look. You know who I'm rolling with.
Okay.
I already know.
I got the Eagles. This is a big game. Like this is a huge game. I think this game. I think if we win this game, this is gonna jumpstart us to go up against the competition that we have in coming next. We know with Kansas City, Buffalo, and them. And this is gonna be a game we actually finally get to see. Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott go at it. Like.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a tough game for either side. The thing is, we cannot turn the ball over. If we turn the ball over, it is going to get ugly. And that is facts. But I think our D-line going to get after that. Get them on the ground a little bit. We're going to get that dub.
Okay.
We're going to get that dub, Cavs.
Huge division game, man. Huge division game. It's honestly, to be middle of the season game is kind of a lot at stake for both teams in this one. Kind of what they want to see from them, from their team going forward. And I got the Eagles in this one as well, man. I'm not. I think first off, the Eagles are at home. That's automatically a plus for me. But I think this Eagles defense gets to Dak and forces him to get a couple turnovers in this one, a couple of crucial ones, and I think that's how they end up winning this game. I think Kevin Byard gets his first interception for y'all this week.
We're going another clean sweep. I've got the Eagles, and I do believe that Kevin Byard shows why. And next week's going to be the conversation of the Eagles. We've seen these contenders make moves, and the Cowboys didn't, and that's going to be the conversation next week. I think Kevin Byard makes a big play for the Philadelphia Eagles. I do. To go back to what I just said earlier about them being a top 5 team, I do think that this is the game that they have a complete game, both offensively and defensively. And similar, I think that we see like a 31-17 kind of drubbing, similar to what they had of Miami.
Okay. I like that.
But with our next game, my MVP, Lamar Jackson, going against my number 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
The Baltimore Ravens versus the Seattle Seahawks. Underrated game. Might possibly be really the game of the week.
It could be.
It could be. I'm going to go ahead and start off with this one, and I got the Baltimore Ravens ultimately pulling it out again. I've stuck with them and picked them pretty consistently, and I just think it's just Lamar's time. people are talking about the Ravens, but I still feel like they're not talking about how good they've been enough. Just because they've had games where they've kind of it's looked a little ugly, maybe in the passing game, or it hasn't been high numbers. Maybe not looked ugly, but it hasn't been high yardage comparatively to his Lions game. But they continue to dominate. They're continuing to get better and better and get more healthy. So I'm going to go with the Ravens in this one, in a close one.
Go ahead, Chris.
I got the Seahawks, man. I got the
Okay.
Seahawks. I think their defense is going to show up like they've been showing up, man. Their defense is showing me something different. That I mean, honestly, I didn't think their defense was going to be that good this year. But they showing up. They just getting better and better. The young boys at the corner, they getting better. With the acquisition of Leonard Williams, that's going to boost up their front. I think they're going to be able to, bottle Lamar up somewhat, and I think it's going to be a game winning drive by Geno.
I can see it.
Maybe not touchdown, maybe to get him field goal range, but you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
I also got the Seahawks in this one, and I don't necessarily think it'll be that close. I think Lamar and that offense, they still have a turnover problem, and I think this defense for the Seahawks really highlights that. I think he has some crucial fumbles or interceptions, but I think it's gonna be a fumble that really. I mean, he's fumbled in almost every game this season. Lamar has, and that's not good either. And it's like crazy stuff too, like missed stuff with the running back, missed handoffs that are just flung to the ground, and I mean they've been good enough, and their defense has Baltimore's defense has been good enough to overcome that. But I think it gets them this game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is one of our different ones, but got the Sunday night football game. Sunday night football game. This is going to be a game with a lot of emotions. Obviously, it's the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Buffalo Bills last year in the regular season. This is obviously the game that we saw with Damar Hamlin in his situation. So it's going to be a highly emotional game for both teams. Obviously, they did play in the playoffs, but that was just a little bit of different energy, especially as he was kind of working his way back. But big game for the Bengals to kind of keep in their kind of contention for the division. Big game for the Buffalo Bills, especially after some of the past month and how their games have kind of gone, losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars, obviously losing to the Patriots. They don't want to have a third loss, especially with all the noise that has gone around them this season. But let's hear it, Chris. Who you got? Speak up,
man. I got the Bengals. I think they keep rolling. I think they kind of in their groove now. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Joe Burrow. He's getting the ball around. I think this might be a T. Higgins game. They're gonna try wherever they can, to stop Jamar. T. Higgins, he got to step up. I think it's gonna be a good game for the Bengals. I'm thinking like a 28-24 type game.
Okay. I got Cincinnati. I got Cincinnati too. I'm rolling with Cincinnati. I had them 1 seed going into the season. I think they finally get their steam. Josh Allen, we saw, is still a little nicked up. He didn't practice today. He was on the injury report today. I don't know if he practiced or not. Maybe limited, but
he didn't practice.
He didn't practice. So I mean, he's going to play, but still, like I think, it's going to be one of those things where, and I did see that. We didn't really talk about this Thursday night game from last week with Buffalo and Tampa Bay. Sorry to make this a little long, but I did see something good out of Josh. He was really spreading that ball around because we mentioned it right before that how
getting the ball out quick too.
Yeah, how it was like it's him and Diggs, but he spread that ball out. He got Shakir involved. He got Dr. Kincaid. Gabe Davis came up with some huge catches, and that was very encouraging to see. Them kind of spread the ball around. It was not encouraging to have Tampa Bay come back in that game with a chance to win it at the end. I think that's more on defense too, and I think that's what we'll see kind of this week.
They also had like a 20-play drive. It was just one of them games, kind of ugly, but okay. I'm going with Buffalo. I think it's a big game for them. They still quietly have. One of the things that I mentioned earlier is how Cincinnati's offensive line has been playing better this season, and Buffalo's defensive defense has been getting a lot of pressure. I think they're number one in pressure percentage this year. I think that they continue that. I think that one player that they missed last season during their games was Von Miller. Von Miller finally makes a huge impact, I think, in this game. And I think Buffalo kind of gets off some demons following that game from last year and stops Cincinnati's run for right now.
Okay, it'll be interesting. I can't wait to see this game.
It's gonna be a great.
Finally, we get it's been said too, like a
primetime games, all hot.
That's what I'm saying. Like
all heat.
Like the Monday night game isn't even that bad either. If you really, I mean, like the Jets are kind of like the Jets, but it's not a terrible Monday night game. Like compared to like what we've had on Sunday night and Monday night. So this is good to see. And then like all day Sunday, I'm locked in, man. You guys start off with
the morning time.
That's what I'm saying. Where you start off with KC Miami, then
as soon as you wake up.
I mean, man, I can't wait.
Okay. Well, that gives the weekly review and weekly look ahead for the NFL for this past week.